of Season 2 here in RRL, this time around Silverstone. And today I am alone in the commentator studio. And yeah, as I said before, we are here in the third race of the season. And yeah, a very historic track with Silverstone. It is, with Monza, the only track who hosted a race in every single year of F1 since 1950, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we are waiting for the first cars to get out on track. And the first one is the Haas of, what do you mean, on the mediums. Interesting tactics for him. And yeah, as I said, today I am alone. So we will see what we can talk about in this qualifying. But we can look on the standings at first. Let me check. Yeah, we have Kart Racer, who leads the championship with 40 points, who scored a win last week in Australia. And Alain Felix won, the McLaren driver, on P2 with 37 points and 3 points behind Kart Racer. And then is PC Willie, who scored a 4th place and a podium. And we have Dando, who is disqualified from the session. And also Tyler is disqualified from the session. What is this? We nearly have 30 seconds in the session and 2 people are already qualified. I saw that Tyler left the session, I guess because of some internet problems. But yeah, what do you mean as a first driver who starts a lap? And yeah, we will go on board with him for the first sector. And then the 2 Alpha Tauris behind. Alpine is on an outlap. It's the Alpine of not Stam King, it's King Abdul. So it's very confusing with the... Oh, and there's Marco FIFA, who crashed out of turn 1. If it's turn 1, I guess it counts as a turn. I guess he spun. And yeah, it's a very tricky track. Not difficult, but you have to be very careful. Especially in the, in my opinion, best sector or section of the circuit, and that's maggots and baggets. You need to have a good run out of baggets for the back straight. And yeah, the lap is invalidated. So the next one should be TRTG Games. With behind him is Preston Brannan, who's a bit too, I don't know, he should give more, should leave more gap to TRTG Games. Ooh, and that's not a good lap for him. I guess he can do better. It's a 128.8 for Preston Brannan. I don't know if he can do another lap, or if he will do another lap. But if he will, he can't because he's getting blocked. And Kart Racer has left the session. Felix once set the provisional pole with a 127.2. Then CSB Harris at 29.5. Underseeker with a 144. 14. Okay, and he spun out of turn 1. Also anti-DNFs. And that's very unfortunate for him. The next one is Galactic Nerd, who sets a 27.3, and that's P2, provisional P2. And it's me, or why is everyone leaving? Okay, there were some issues with my audio, so I were in the game chat, and everyone could hear me in the lobby, and that's not very good. And there is a lobby restart, so basically we have to wait. So we have to wait a few minutes. So Felix is doing another lobby, and then the race will restart, or the qualifying will restart. So we are back at it after the restart. We are waiting. I don't know why we are waiting so long. Aha! There he is. I don't know what happened there. But we are back on track for the Silverstone Grand Prix. And again the same order. This time, again, what do you mean? The first one, this time on softs. Then behind is no, it's Aston Martin of Harris. And yeah, we talked about the standings before, because Kart Racer, who is still in the pits, is the championship leader right now, and 3 points behind him is this man over here, who got second place in Portugal and a second place in Australia after he had a wing damage and had to pit for a new wing, and then somehow managed to get again on the podium after a few very good overtakes. But now the first... Oh, and there's what do you mean? Who spun, I guess. And he has to get out of the way somehow because there are so many drivers. Oh, and he stopped on track, and I don't know if it's so good what he's doing right now. Okay, I guess Harris is also invalidated. So we are looking for the other driver, and it is King Abdul. Oh, and what do you mean? Gets a 5-place grid penalty for several collision with Felix. Did he spun? Yes, he did. Oh, and that's not good. He's waiting for his teammate Tyler, who won the season opener around Portugal, but then DNF in Australia. That's not good. He lost a lot of points for the championship fight because the calendar is only 10 races long, so every point counts. And King Abdul with a 131.3, and then Marco FIFA 29.1, TRTG Games 30.0, and then NNL Rice, who goes into professional pole with a 28.5. The next one is CMDS Sop, who sets himself up into third place with a 129.4. And then there's the Alfa Romeo of Preston Brennan with a nearly 2 minutes left, but I guess he can do better than that. I guess he spun or something. So there's a McLaren in front of Tyler, who hopefully get out of the way and he's not getting blocked by him. Oh, he's getting slipstream, and Tyler moves out of the way. Oh wait. Tyler sets pole. I didn't realize that. I don't know what happened there. But let's go on board with Preston Brennan. It will be very interesting what he can do in this Alfa Romeo. It is his first race for Alfa Romeo. I promoted him today. Then Galactic Nerd sets himself up into P2 with a 127.8, 8/10 behind Tyler in the McLaren. So he rounds the final corner, and we will see what he can do in the Alfa Romeo, and he sets a 128.1, and that's third place for him. That's a very good lap. The next one should be PC Willie. What can he do? He finishes lap in a 129.0. It's a good lap, but I think he can do a little bit better than that. When we look at the last races, Jeremy has started his lap. It's also very interesting what he can do in the Alpine. Dando is on the way to finish his lap. I guess he can improve, but how much he can improve? That's a question. He rounds the final corner and it is P8 for him. He stays in 8th place, so 129.8. Then the next one is Stam King, who is improving right now, and yes, he does. P10 for him, 130.2. Jonathan, who sets himself up into 4th place, 120. Oh! And Jonathan got blocked by the Williams driver. I guess it was... No, it was Stam King. Kart Racer with a 127.2, 2/10 behind Tyler, and I don't know if it's true, but I guess this track is more of a McLaren track because you need a lot of power, and especially on the straight, and McLaren has the power. Oh, and there's a lot of traffic in front. Oh, that's a lot of traffic. Jeremy sets himself up into 3rd place as a 127.5. The next one on the list is Marco FIFA, is on an out lap. So he will start his lap now. Then Dando is going into the pits. The next one is not King Abdul, it's the Williams of... Man, that's very confusing. It's Stam King. And then Jonathan... Oh, and there's... Oh, Marco FIFA spun and he's in the gravel. It goes back on track. I don't know if he has wing damage or not. It's again a great camera by the game. At least I see he has a wing, but nothing more than that. Oh, and here's Jeremy and Kart Racer, who are fighting for position, but they're both going into the pits. When he brakes, he brakes very late and nearly crashed into Kart Racer. Felix sets himself into 3rd place with a 127.2. Both Mercedes. Okay, Underseeker is finishing his lap. No, I guess it wasn't validated. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, but I guess the only driver who led the driver on a hot lap by. Okay, both Mercedes are out on a hot lap. So we can stay on board with Underseeker. Let's see what he can do in the Mercedes. He has the car advantage, but can he use this? Oh, it's not invalidated for him. Going into maggots. Oh, the Alfa Romeo somehow moved out of the way. I guess it was Preston. And Tyler sets a new fastest lap. It's a 1:26.9. He gets under the 27th, and Underseeker sets himself up into P9. A decent lap for him. The next one on the map who can finish a lap is Marco FIFA. What can he do? Can he set himself higher than P12? And yes, he can. 7th for him, nearly 1 second of improvement. It's a 1:28.1. A decent lap for him. Then there is CMD Asop, who is now in a hot lap. Oh, and he's invalidated. He invalidated his lap, and behind him is Rice. Oh, no, he's not improving at all. So he's staying behind the Ferrari, but he's letting him pass, going off track. But there is a Haas of Macros. I guess it's his first race too in this league. Right now in P16. There is the Williams of Stamking, who is starting a lap right now. Then behind of him is Preston Brennan, who is now improving by nearly 1.5 tenths. Can he improve his lap time? Yes, he can. He stays in 6th place, but only 1/10 away of Galactic Nerd in the Red Bull. Okay, never mind. As I said, Galactic Nerd sets himself into the front row with a 1:27.1. And there is the AlphaTauri of Marco FIFA, who spun again. He spun again out of Beckett's. I don't know if he's going to pit because the tires don't seem to resist another lap. But right now we are entering the decisive part of this qualifying. CSP Harris is right now the only driver who hasn't set a lap yet, and because of that he's going out for a hot lap, for his first hot lap. I guess second one, but the first one didn't count. I don't know what happened there. Oh, and there is a big group of drivers who went out of the pit lane for his last run of this qualifying, and there is a lot of traffic, and that's a problem on a full grid. You have to be very carefully, especially on qualifying, to not block someone, and that's a problem where not every driver look at it. And that can cost someone a very good lap time and maybe a position. So I guess we will stay on board with Felix, because he's right now 4th behind Kart Racer, Galactic Nerd and his teammate Tyler. 3 points are separating him and Kart Racer in the championship. Felix, who set a podium in both races, a P2 in both races, I guess. And Kart Racer, who finished 3rd in Portugal and 1st in Australia. So basically the race is on, and we will stay on board with Felix, and Underseeker has left the session, but in the pit lane. Felix finishes the first sector and is improving by nearly 2/10. Can he get under the 27th? He gets a purple sector 1. We will see what he can do for the rest of the lap, because the tricky part of the track is coming right now. Corpse corner, downshift to the 7th gear. Full throttle, then downshift to 7th, then another downshift to 6th, and then full throttle out of Baggett's. Nearly 3.5 tenths. Going into Stowe. Can he take provisional pole? He can set another run, because the tire wear is not that much. He finishes his lap on a 26.9, and he's one. Wow, this gap is nothing. But can Tyler respond? And Felix is not setting another lap time. He's trusting. Oh, he's very confident that nobody can beat that lap. We will see what he can do. Kart Racer is improving his time by nearly 3/10. Can he set himself into the front row? Can he set himself into pole position? Felix is now on provisional pole, but can't set another lap time. First of all, we will stay on board with Kart Racer. He's improving by 2/10. He gets the slipstream off the AlphaTauri, and that can be very crucial for him. Good exit out of Stowe. Going to the last chicane and he rounds the final corner. Can he take pole? And no, he can't. Third place for him. The next one who's finishing his lap is Tyler, but I don't think he is improving at all, and he nearly spun out of the last corner, and he can't improve. And only Galactic Nerd can now, and he's improving by 2/10. Can he set himself into pole position? Can he deny Felix? And yes, he can! 126.978 by 51 hundredths of a second. He gets pole position. Felix is not getting another lap, and it's pole position for the Red Bull driver Galactic Nerd, and then Felix behind, and behind of Felix his teammate Tyler, and that is so close. The first P1 to P4, half a tenth. Sorry. So we're waiting for the last driver. Oh, we're waiting for What Do You Mean, who is in the pit lane. And yeah, that's it for qualifying. Wow, that is close. In P1 is Galactic Nerd, then Felix and Tyler, then Kart Racer. Very close between these four. Then 4/10 behind is Jeremy, then Preston Brainin in the Alfa Romeo. Very good lap from him. Then Marco FIFA, Jonathan Rice, then PC Willie, Underseeker, CMDS Sub, Harris, TLTG Games, Dando, Stam King, Macross, King Abdul, What Do You Mean, and then AC Pooper, What Do You Mean, will start last because of the 5th place grid penalty. And that's it for qualifying, and it's looking very, very good for an exciting race here for the 3rd race of the season around Silverstone. Oh, Preston Brennan has left the session. I don't hope of internet issues, but he has the time to get back into the lobby. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's very, very unfortunate, but we will see when the formation lab has started right now. A very tricky first corner, because it's a very long straight until the first braking zone, and turn 1 into a very tricky, especially in lap 1. So the driver has to be very careful. And Preston Brainen still isn't in the lobby again. But even if he does, I guess he can't join in the formation lab. He has to wait until the lights are out and the race has started. Then he can join, and that will be a big problem for him. There's a big gap between Soap and Harris. I don't know what happened there. It's not good for the tires for the front runners, because they have to wait quite a bit until the driver arrived. So the race, we're waiting for the cars to line up on the grid, and then the race can start. We can see on the tires, yeah, it's only Underseeker, AC-Pro, what do you mean, who will start the race on medium compound. So we are waiting for the last few cars. And there are 5 red lights over the driver, and it's lights out, and away we go. Good start from Galactic Nerd, who moves up into the inside to cover of Felix, going into the first braking zone. Tyler tries around the outside on Galactic Nerd, but can he stay the front? No, he can't. Galactic Nerd takes P1, and Felix had not a good start at all. Kart Racer passes him already, going down to the Wellington Straight and going into Brooklyn. Side by side, these two. Kart Racer with the inside line. Can he stay in front? Yes, he can. But Jeremy tries around the outside. And can he stick the move? Oh, that going side by side through cops. Oh, okay. No, they are not going side by side because there's a virtual safety car. Ah, come on. This will be very entertaining, and I guess it will not be the last time we see this. Because of Dando, who crashed. I don't know what happened there, unfortunate. So, yeah. Tyler had a very, very good start. And passes his teammate Felix and Galactic Nerd. And the race is on. Green lights. Yeah, the race is on. Tyler says obviously the fastest lap of the race because yeah, it's the first lap, and there are two drivers who stop. And what do you mean? And King Abdul. So what can Felix do? Can he somehow gain the position back? Because in front of him is Jeremy, who isn't very easy to fight, and in front of Jeremy is Kart Racer, who is not much easier to pass. So it will be very